circuit, as you can see from above, has this long front straight, and that is one of the keys here to get a little bit of a slipstream, and the wind may become a factor as we get underway on this race. So then, the calm before the storm. On the left-hand side, the 66 of Ryan Shehan, looking for his second win. Nick Persing, though, looking for his first. On go the lights, out go the lights, and away we go. And a good start from Ryan Shehan. He got off the line well. None of these guys in their practice starts really had nailed it. And Ryan, by his own admittance, was very nervous about that starting procedure. Ooh, very tight indeed, but Persing just squeezing through in the 29 into second place. Bowlsbey and Becklin, Cooper Becklin just squeezing into third place there, and already we're starting for jostling for position here. Through goes the number 3. But a nice clean start, Daniel, and where now would you be looking for an overtake? Where's the first possible overtake? You see someone already around the outside. Hedge is creating his own.
Exactly. If you see Oliver and Hedge right over there fighting for position, usually that turn 3 and 4 complex, you really want to get ahead of these drivers, because the next corners, 5, 6, 7, you can't even make a move over there. You see these guys going super wide and trying to get good on the S's, and the only next turning attacking point is going to be that turn 13, deep braking.
Yeah, it's deceptive when you see these fast right-hand kinks, all these S's, because you presume that there might be an opportunity, but actually there's only really one line through there.
Exactly.
And if you try to make an overtake, then you're going to be so far offline for the next corner that it becomes pointless. So yeah, you just have to be patient. This is the most obvious point to overtake coming into this last complex here. And you see how they jostle for position and get very tight between each other. But a good climb, good start to this one, and a nice compact field as Westling still trying to hold off Callum Hedge as we get started in this one. And away we go. But that was a good start from Shehan. Won the first race. Persing was second, and Becklin was third in yesterday's opener. And now down that long straight. That must feel like it goes on forever, but can you get a decent slipstream down there?
Yeah, especially with these FR cars, you're much quicker down the straight, and the huge outwash from these massive rear wings, you get a lot more speed than these F4 cars. As you see Oliver.
Yeah, and he's all over the back of the number 3, and does he make it? No, not quite. It's going to be a battle between the pair of them. Really good racing. And Hayden Bowlsbey, the local man from New Orleans, trying to hold on. Oh, and he's gone wide, has Bowlsbey. And that's allowed Hedge to come back into this one. Hedge will now try and pounce on Westling in the all blue.
Oh yeah, that turn 4 right there is super easy lock up. The outside line is super bumpy, so that's probably why he got that lock up. But he's quick, and I hope he gets that position back.
So Callum Hedge and Oliver Westling. Westling came into the championship last year, so he's got some miles under his belt. But then again, Callum Hedge has just done 6 weeks in a very similar car, different engine, different chassis, but pretty much the same spec, because FR, Formula Regional, is run all around the world, and it's all about super license points. And Callum, having become runner-up in that championship, probably has more super license points than anybody out there right now. And there is a possible 18 for the winner of this championship. And so very prestigious from the FIA's point of view. And they certainly keep an eye on who's doing what. But Ryan Shehan already pulling away. His last lap at 1:36.2. So the time starting to drop, and Ryan doing what he did yesterday, which is kind of control this race. So Persing, who is in second place, has got to pounce soon as Hedge looks to the inside. Can't quite pull it off, though. Where would you, Daniel, try to make a move if you were in the 17th position, if you were in Hedge's position?
I mean, easiest spot is down that straight. With these cars, they got the downforce, and you kind of just got to set up on that last corner and go for it on that straight. It's hard to follow these cars, kind of like F1, going through these tight corners. The downforce almost holds you back through the high-speed corners.
Well, wait for a mistake from Westling, and that's exactly what's happened. And this is a good chance now for Callum Hedge. He thinks about it there, but as you say, it's a risky business, because there's so few lines through there that once you make the commitment, you've got to make it stick. Becklin now losing time in third place. Morris still fourth. Westling and Hedge going at it, and that's that second group that you're seeing coming through shot right now. Just behind them is the young teenager from Mexico City, Manuel Roza, looking forward to seeing what he can do. His parents are here, your parents are here, and a bit of a family affair. Are they enjoying it?
Yeah, my parents out here love it. It's only our 3rd race weekend here with F4, so it's amazing.
That's just a hop, skip, and a jump from Houston. This is a local race for you.
Yeah, for sure. I actually came back here back in karting, so good time this year.
Good kart circuit, it looks like it anyway.
Oh, it's incredible. Out in the shifter karts, we were all 4 wheels off that ground.
I'll bet. So Shehan completes another lap. He's dropped it again, 135.6. The difference, 0.6. So he's not gapping Persing like he did yesterday. Persing, though, was starting to get a little fatigued because Nick Persing has just jumped out of a radical. And yesterday he'd already done 3 sessions when he took on Ryan. So he should be a little bit more ready for it this time. He had to write his own name on the side of the car, which is kind of funny. But anyway, there it is.
Man, that's actually really impressive for Persing. I know some kids out of karting, they do the KA classes in the X30. But hopping in from a radical to these FR cars, you get so much experience, but that fatigue really kicks in these super long races. We got 19 minutes, and although Nick's quick, I hope he just keeps up that pace.
Well, also, the concentration as well, because the braking points are different, the input is different, the engine reacts differently to your throttle. So, you know, everything, the braking point, just everything is different. And that's, you know, when it's only 20 minutes in the turnaround, there's not a lot of time to rethink it, is there?
Exactly.
Now, something's happened to... no, that battle continues now. Why is Hedge, though? Oh, he is! Hedge has got past, that's what's happened. So Callum Hedge has got past Oliver Westling. He looked as though he was edging himself to do that because Westling made one mistake. Oh, somebody going on the inside there, making a mistake. 2 cars, in fact. So I don't know, as long as they don't gain anything, but I would have thought the stewards will have a look at that. That was weird. So there is that little offline if you miss your braking point, but that's the way to go. But let's see how they adjudicate it, because you don't want to gain an advantage by taking the shortcut. So this is starting to be a much more impressive race in terms of how close it is. Morris coming through, here comes Hedge. And now Hedge going in pursuit of Bryson Morris, who's one of the returning drivers. Bryson Morris having some great victories in F4 last year. Have you raced against him?
Yeah, I raced for those last 2 races, VIR and COTA, and he actually finished 2nd in that championship in F4.
Yes, he did.
What's really impressive is that that Crosslink team, I hope he'd be a little bit higher in the FR. He's a really quick driver, and I just think it's going to take a little bit of a second to transition. Ryan Shehan was actually out in New Zealand driving those Formula Oceania cars, and I think that's why he's getting the edge on these other drivers.
Oh, there's no question. It's interesting, actually, because Callum Hedge, who you just saw there, was runner-up in the championship. And I think Ryan, finished 9th overall. He didn't win a race there, but the time in the car at some 3,000 kilometers really does get you ready for the season ahead, the international season. And so, smart move by the young Texan. We'll have to get you over there.
Oh, yeah, I would love that.
Somebody locking up there, going into 15, and just losing a little bit of time, but not any space on track. I think that was Morris under pressure now, because Hedge has reeled him in, and is he close enough to make a move on the straight, do you think?
Let's see. He's just behind. I bet he can maybe go for a turn 1 move.
All right.
Let's see.
Well, Persing still taking some time out of Shehan. In fact, he's reacted well to Shehan's lead, because he's right there, the gap 0.4, but the reason he's got the hurry up is this man, the number 19, Cooper Becklin, the tall figure of the high jumper that is Cooper Becklin, is right there in 3rd place. Cooper's got some good experience, and he's looking for a big season too, so he'll try to get past if he can, but the 3 of them glued together on track, and then another battle behind between Morris and Hedge.
Yeah, exactly. When races usually calm down like this and you're 1 by 1, you really got to get your head down and try to catch up to a pack. Like, you see that huge gap from Becklin to Morris. Morris is out of that slipstream, and these 3 are probably going to pick it up, go out of that way.
Daniel, for people who've never done this kind of racing, or even karting, just explain how physical it is, because it looks so smooth on TV, but you are rattling your teeth, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. Honestly, these cars, no power steering, no power brakes. You feel everything right through the seat, through your back, these bumps. Although it looks kind of soft, like right over there, those curbs, you really feel the car, and you're almost muscling it through these corners. But it's important, like these drivers, they keep it smooth. You got
another lock up, this time by Cooper Becklin.
Yeah, super easy to do. But honestly, just keeping control of the car, gets super physical, but being consistent, you're not sliding through these corners. You want to keep it stable and not fight the car, but work with it.
Yeah, and your car, they make your suspension nice and soft so you get a smooth ride. Well, the engineers in these kind of cars make them as stiff as possible because they want the aerodynamics to work.
Exactly.
And so really that's another part of it, is that you are literally in a bouncing bucket. Now, talking of bouncing buckets, here comes Callum Hedge. Can he get past? He's all over the back of Morris and has been for the last couple of laps. The Giltrap sponsored, Tony Quinn Foundation sponsored car from New Zealand, carrying the flag of New Zealand as so many have before him. And we've got a real renaissance happening here in the States with so many Kiwis. Marcus Armstrong just arriving in IndyCar this year and putting a good show on at St. Pete. Scott McLaughlin so close to a win. All came to naught up against Grosjean. Real shame, but exciting racing all the same. And then the GOAT, of course, Scott Dixon, as ever. So watch out for the Kiwis taking over in the States, and Callum Hedge just the next in line. Now, has there been change at the front? One of the top three could be missing. Let's hope it's not. It's Persing. Persing may well have gone out of this race, and that changes the... Oh, no, there he is! Oh, that is bitter, bitter disappointment. And it plays into Shehan's hands for the second day in a row. And they're going to wind. He's well out of harm's way, but yeah, I don't know what happened there, but that's a shame. And now Becklin moves into second, and now we have a two-way battle. Is it easier when you look in your mirrors in second place and you go, okay, I don't have to worry about the guy behind me, I just have to concentrate on the guy in front?
Yeah, 100%, especially when that guy is probably just a couple tenths behind you.
Yep.
You really got to be important and focus on either, okay, this corner, can I attack? Can I defend? Is it going to put me in compromise to this guy behind me passing while I still want to move forward? So it's really important paying attention to who's around you and how much time you got between each other.
And the 24 is also in, that's Janze. And there's no pit stops supposedly in a sprint race like this, but the Canadian Kevin Janze is in the pits. He's our oldest driver here, but most experienced as well. And I don't know what the problem was, but he's back out again. I think he may have gone a bit of grass tracking there because there was grass on the ground there, and maybe he just wanted to check out and make sure the radiator's working to overheat the engine. And you're listening to Daniel Cará, who is a young 20-year-old from Houston, Texas. Currently at the University of San Francisco, absolutely open to any sponsorship you may offer him. He's got a winery, so if you've got some glasses you want to sell, he'll go well with that. Or even, I don't know, what do you need?
Honestly, we're out here, single car team. It's me, my father, Daryl Willis, and Jeff. We are just 4 guys working on this car, and we're really trying to make a name for ourselves here.
That's a great story. Well, remember the name. What's your car number and what's your social?
I'm car number 10, and it's Daniel Cará BR for Brazil.
Yep, he comes from a family of Brazilians who emigrated here to the USA and have made their home in little old Texas, just like myself. I say little old because it's huge. Now, talking of 11 minutes to go now for another man from Texas, Ryan Shehan from the capital, Austin, Texas. Won the first race and really wants to put his marker down this weekend. It's a great opportunity. 600,000. Oh, Bowlsbey's in as well.
Oh,
so
man.
Hayden Bowlsbey with problems in the number 3. You saw him go wide earlier, but they're working on something at the back. I'm not sure what that is.
He's been having troubles all weekend. I remember he actually came up to me in a testing session out in Houston, and he knows he's quick. He was, I don't know how he was doing in these practices, but he was pretty quick, and this is his home race. So it's such a shame that he's struggling with these problems.
Well, they're working quite hard on the car, but here's another car going off. This is Oliver Westling. So what happens here?
Oh, I think that's out in the S. Is super easy to lose over there. It's kind of bumpy on the inside, and if you just miss your line, you hit those bumps. And with these lower cars, the F4s, the FRs, a little bit lower, and it just kind of loses it.
Excellent insight from Daniel. Thank you, sir. As we go back to the action, and it's fast and furious. As we look at another little battle. Now we've got little pockets of battles going on all over the racetrack. We've lost Janze to the pits. Persing is out. Bowlsbey's just stuck in the pits at the moment. So we're down to a very few drivers out there at the moment. But the battle at the front is good, and it's between Shehan and Becklin. It's still less than a second, and with 10 minutes to go, if you were Becklin, you count yourself potentially in with a win here, right?
Yeah, definitely. I think he's closing in that gap, but if I were Ryan, I'd be trying to keep my head down, but it's kind of hard when you're looking in that mirror and that guy is just not getting any further.
That's our first look at Roza, the young Mexican driver, following in the footsteps of the likes of Pato O'Ward. And then Westling, who made that mistake, is now quite some distance away, but in 6th place. And it's important that he keeps going, because every race is important, and you know this, Daniel, because the point is, if you stay out there, there's always a chance of scoring points, and at the end of the season, it does count.
Yeah, honestly, in these sprint races, we've got 18 races in a full championship. If you finish these top 5 positions, carry these points, you're in the fight for the championship. And it's a huge scholarship at the end for FR going to Japan.
Yeah, absolutely. That's just a reminder that Honda have very, very generously offered $600,000 worth of prize money, and that all goes to a seat with a Honda team in Japan in the Super Formula Championship. I just mentioned Pato O'Ward and Pierre Gasly, another one, all went there. Raul Hyman,
Cará.
Somebody else has gone off. So it's a war of attrition out there this morning. Not quite sure who that was, but here comes Roza's battle with...
Oh, this is
it was car 3, it was Bowlsbey again, so it's Bowlsbey who's got off again.
Oh, man.
Now, here's the battle at the front. This is what we want to watch.
Yeah, he's about a 10th quicker right here.
So then, and there's the battle for 3rd place, and it's Hedge once again and Morris. They've been going at it all race long, and this for a chance of getting on the podium. And for Callum Hedge, this would be a mighty turnaround for the disappointment of yesterday. And knowing Hedge as I do, he'll be very disappointed with his debut yesterday. He's got a lot of friends in that Kiwi Motorsport camp, and they know he's better than he showed yesterday. But it wasn't his fault. But look at that move up the inside, Daniel. He's taking every risk, isn't he?
Yeah, I definitely saw him looking down that straight. He's going for that pass sooner or later.
Well, he's an aggressive driver. I saw him in tin tops in '86. He's also done single-seaters in Formula Ford and Formula First in New Zealand, and has been racing also in the Porsche series in Australia for Earl Bamber Racing, who started his career, Earl Bamber, who of course now is a big superstar on the world level. But Earl Bamber started at this level. I remember commentating on his races in Formula BMW many years ago, and now of course runs his own team, and Callum is part of that team. Now, there's Becklin, and he's lost a little bit of ground to Shehan. The gap was 0.8, and 2 distinct battles, one for the podium, one for the race win with 7 minutes to go. If Hedgie's going to do it, he's going to have to start doing something now, but he's close enough surely to make a move now down into the Big Machine Vodka Spike Coolers turn 1.
Yeah, let's see if he makes a move down here.
I mean, I don't think Becklin's close enough, and he's not. Hedge, though, that's different. He looks, can't quite think of doing it. Next opportunity would be at the Bridge Hall Bennett's turn 3. Coming up now. That's a long left-hander coming up. There's really not many lines through there. You've got to kind of stick to your line here, don't you?
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what he does. And then he'll go through that 4, 5, and 6. Now, he's had a jink to the inside just before 6 a couple of times, but hasn't quite pulled it off. Now, you can see him high above, coming down through that gap. 1st and 2nd coming through now. And there's this battle for 3rd. Bryson Morris, almost winner in the F4 Championship last year. And remember, a chance to win an FR seat if you win F4, so that's what Daniel will be going for, and a chance to win $25,000, so that will be useful to a homemade team or a small team like yours.
That's everything, and compared to these huge teams, they got a lot of cars, they got a lot of drivers, and a lot of experience. This is my first time almost every venue here, and I've got nothing to work on. I come on these weekends and I gotta work on every aspect, the car setup, learning these tracks, and I don't have the comparison with other teammates. Like usually it's like almost like a team effort. You guys work with each other. Oh, I'm slower here, I'm slower here.
And you can share the data as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Another lap completed, time running out then for Callum Hedge. He's trying desperately to get on the podium. His first experience of these kind of cars, FR cars, the same as they are in his homeland, but slightly different chassis, slightly different engine. Obviously, I say slightly, very different, but obviously they're going to feel just slightly different. And I was asking him about the nuances between, and he said, yeah, he said that he feels that this car's a little bit heavier than the one at home in the Oceana series. Hankook tires, they both use the same. But it just feels a little bit harder to get on the power and drive the car. It doesn't feel as easy or as nimble as what he's used to, but he'll get used to it once he gets his head around it. I've watched Callum for a few years. He's going to be red hot here in the USA. Now, Becklin's dropped off. The gap now 1.3 seconds, so Shehan is doing what he did yesterday, which is slowly build that gap and then control the race from the front. Shehan again has a look, and this coming into the Mission Foods turn 15, or complex 13, 14 and 15. Now into Mission Foods 15, and this is as close as Hedge has been, and as they pop out into our view, surely Callum Hedge with 4 minutes to go now, running out of laps. If he's going to make his move, Shehan has made his move. He's pulled away from Becklin and is now in control of this race, but the gap has come right down here, and Hedge doesn't try to do anything here. Where on the outfield, where in the infield would he make a move, do you think?
I mean, the only next great shot is at that turn 3, but I think Bryson Morris always picks up on that turn 1. You see that gap getting a lot larger. I don't know where Callum can make a move.
To be honest, we've been talking about Callum. We should be really talking about Bryson Morris and how well he is defending his position. As finally Callum gets through. Well, commentator's plight. Sorry, Bryson. But yeah, because he did an extraordinary job of holding off Callum under massive pressure there. And then finally, Callum surprised us all. Chose a place where probably Bryson didn't expect him to move.
Yeah.
And now look at him go. Now he's passed. He might have a crack at trying to catch Becklin now.
Yeah, let's see how he can grow this gap from Bryson.
Great race this compared to the first race, which was totally dominated. Nothing wrong with that by Shehan, but this one likewise. But he had a 9-second lead at one point in yesterday's race. So Callum Hedge makes the move, and Daniel, as we take another look at a replay, let's see what we're looking at here.
Yeah, I think this is right into turn 4. It's really easy to kind of coast out wide on turn 4, and I think Callum just cut in the inside and it had to hold back Bryson. He just couldn't do anything, and once you're on that power, Callum's gone.
So then, here comes Ryan Shehan to start his last lap. 2 minutes to go. Didn't see the white flag though, but the board. Cooper Becklin doing a good job in second place. This would be a good result, but now he's got to keep a watchful eye on what's behind because Hedge is catching ever so closely. Just having a look at the times here. Bryson Morris was clocking 1:36s. Manuel Roza just did his fastest lap at 36.6. Callum Hedge at 36.1. So Hedge is just marginally quicker than Cooper Becklin, but only by a tenth. But he's got time, maybe, in these closing laps to make a move on Cooper Becklin. That's the gap. You can see it physically. Is it possible, do you think?
I think at this pace, it's really easy to kind of catch up to these drivers as they get more tired. And I know Cooper raced last year, but with Hedge's experience, I think maybe at the end, those last laps, I think Hedge might pull it off.
Yeah, it's a good point. You mentioned that experience because Callum, still young himself, but has got a lot of experience at both single-seaters and Porsches. Oh, and that's the lockup that Hedge was waiting for. Cooper Becklin makes a rare mistake into 13.
And there he is.
And he's right there with him. So now he's going to try, surely. Oh, he gets a bit of oversteer there as he tries to push on. But he is absolutely pushing on. Meanwhile, the leader, Shehan, is up the road by 2 seconds. Here he comes. There's the white flag. Now we're on the last lap. And surely Hedge is going to make a move on Cooper Becklin. But will it be here? I don't think he's close enough at turn 1, but he might try turn 4 again. His little specialty. Good stuff, though, isn't it, Daniel?
Yeah, 100%. It's actually really impressive to pick up the pace later in the races. You saw these 25-minute races. Honestly, even me racing, try to get that last position, it's tough.
And I assume that this is where you want to be in either next year or the year after, right?
100% FR. We're pretty committed to this formula.
And another lock-up. It's through 4. So Becklin feeling that pressure, and Hedge will have seen that just as we all did. And now maybe, just maybe, he's got a chance. Boy, they're tight.
Yeah.
Well, this will please his sponsors back at home, that's for sure. Because they put a lot of time and energy into bringing him here, and it was a bit of a toss-up as to whether it would be worth bringing him here, given that he's got a full season in Australia, which is only a couple of hours away, and he's looking for his second season there and believes he can win the title there. He narrowly missed out to Alexander Wirtz, the son of... Alexander Wirtz's son, Charlie Wirtz, who won the Oceania Series. Oh, and the big lock up there by Becklin, and is this a chance? Surely for Callum Hedge. This the battle for second place, and he's all over him. But he's got to have a drag race to the line. Here comes Hedge. He's going to take it high and wide and now get the power down early. But it's going to be 2 for 2 from Saving Private Ryan. What a great job by Shehan. And somehow Becklin has held on in the dying seconds there to take second place, only just from Hedge by .087. Scintillating racing, just what we wanted from FR. But well done from Cooper Becklin, because we were talking about Bryson Morris sucking up the pressure. Well, that was immense there by Becklin, because he made 2 major mistakes and still held on.
Exactly. That's really impressive racing from all of them. It's kind of interesting once you get really close in these FR cars, so much faster than the F4, and it's kind of hard to pass on a thin track like this in NOLA.
Well, Ryan Shehan channeling his inner Raoul Hyman. Raoul Hyman, the winner last year of the FR Championship, because he totally dominated proceedings and has now gone on to race in Japan. We'll be watching his Super Formula action coming up in April. We wish him luck. It's great to have a graduate going on to international racing due to Honda, and certainly that's Ryan Shehan's plan from here on in. Well, Daniel Cará, where are you on the grid for the next race, and what should we be looking for?
I think I'm starting 4th or 5th.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So.
Then you'll get me a podium then.
That's the plan. I just lost that win in the first race, but I'm really fighting it, and I want to get that hopefully this weekend, at least on that podium.
Well, you've been listening to Daniel Cará, and he'll be in action in F4. But that was FR Race 2. Let's take a look at some of the highlights from it. And from the get-go, Ryan Shehan not too happy with his starts, but that was a good one. And Cooper Becklin had his nose cut off as he tried to get in. All sorts of shenanigans, including Bowlsbey going off. At the 29 of Persing, who was second at the time, going off. And Janze also coming in. Grass in the radiators, I believe. Westling getting slightly south on that one. And managed to hold it all together through the S's. And then the almighty battle between Bryson Morris and Callum Hedge, who made a superb pass at turn 4, but couldn't do it twice and had to settle for 3rd place behind Cooper Becklin. But a great race of FR, and they've got one more to come. Congratulations. It's 2 for 2 from Ryan Shehan. My thanks to Daniel Cará. Here is the official results, and look at that. Crosslink Kiwi with a top 4, all winning through there. Ryan Shehan, the top man. Becklin 2nd. Hedge in 3rd. Morris in 4th place. Then Oliver Westling. Roza of Mexico in 6th place. Again for Crosslink. And then Max Hewitt, the young Texan, in 7th position. Kevin Janze in 8th. Hayden Bowlsbey 9th. And Nick Persing, who both did not finish the race. Again, my thanks to Daniel Cará. He'll be in action later, and starting 4th on the grid in F4. Can't wait to see him. We'll take a short break. We'll be right back with more action from NOLA.